Now, let's go over to Africa 54's NDIMYAKE with a preview of this week's AU Summit. Demi?
Thank you, Vincent. United States Secretary of State John Kerry travels to Ethiopia Friday for meetings with African Union officials that are expected to discuss violence in Sudan and efforts to battle Islamic fundamentalists in northern Mali and in northern Nigeria. VOA's Scott Stearns is traveling with the secretary.
Soldiers from the European Union are helping train Malian troops to fight insurgents linked to al-Qaeda terrorists. The deployment of a regional intervention force to replace French and Chadian troops in Mali is a central security issue for the African Union. And it's an opportunity for the United States to help provide counterinsurgency training, says the Africa director at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Jennifer Cooke.
The Islamists are thinking time is on our side on this. We can wait out the French. And then we'll have this very kind of weak West African force to confront. So that's a big dilemma.
Cooke says it's more than just a military challenge because the African Union and Western allies need to help create civilian authorities to which Malian troops are accountable.
Will the international community have the stomach, now that the immediate threat is gone, to help, to stay with it? To stay supporting those forces, to stay on track and with the pressure on a political solution and the governing structure eventually for the North.
African Union members are also facing continuing violence along the still undecided border between Sudan and South Sudan, where human rights groups say the outlawed Lord's Resistance Army is taking advantage of that instability. At a time when Sudanese President Omar Hassan al-Bashir is working to improve his image abroad, Human Rights Watch Deputy Washington Director Sarah MARGON says it's an opportune moment for Sudan to distance itself from the LRA.
It really would be in their interest as they continue to try to reemerge and regain their position in the international community for them to tell the LRA, this is not a place where you can continue to come, we're not going to allow it, and we won't have it anymore.
African Union officials are also expected to discuss Nigeria's state of emergency against Boko Haram militants in the north. Secretary Kerry reaffirmed Washington's support for Nigeria's fight against extremism and its leadership role on the continent in recent talks with Foreign Minister Olugbenga Ashiru.
We have a close association, close working partnership, and Nigeria is a very important leader within the African Union as well as the Economic Community of West African States. Unfortunately, they are facing some tough violence in the northern part of the country, which we condemn.
While U.S. officials say they're concerned about the destabilizing threat that militants pose for Nigeria, they're also calling on Nigerian security forces to protect civilians in ways that respect human rights, following reports of a heavy-handed response to insecurity in some northern communities. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Jerusalem.